Join the conversation in Tipperary. Contact us through Facebook, Twitter, or email tiptoday@tipfm.com.
Now it's time to talk about interior design for the first time this year, and Karen Prendergast is with me in studio. Good morning to you, Karen.
Good morning, friend. Good morning to all the listeners.
And great to see you today. You're going to look at design trends for this brand new year. Already, do you know what the trends are going to be,
Yeah,
Karen?
absolutely.
Yeah?
And to be honest, when we start talking about them, a lot of them are being carried on from last year, even the year before, and some new little bits and pieces added on. But today I'm going to tell people what I feel is on trend in 2026. So the first thing is rich, earth-forward colour palettes. So that's like going from cool neutrals to warm colours, earthy hues, that are kind of grounded, emotional, and a bit more comforting. And often last year, when I bring in different, which I will the next day, we'll bring in colour swatches and we'll talk about the colours. But I've talked about the dark blues, the dark greens, the deep peaches, the oranges this year. And the burnt oranges and the browns, they've all been there all last year and they're back again this year. So again, terracotta, mossy, olive green, clay brown, orc, which is kind of a real rich mustardy gold colour, and warm beiges. And what's really interesting this year, which started out last year but is going to become a bigger thing this year, but it's not for everybody, is colour capping. So what is colour capping? Colour capping is when you paint your skirting board, your architrave, your walls and your ceiling the same colour.
Wow.
And what's on trend is in quite dark colours.
Yeah.
So the likes of the dark blues, the dark greens, and doing the whole lot. It's very dramatic. Would I love to do it? Yeah. Do I have the rooms in my houses that might suit it? Quite possibly in my front room, but the ceiling is very low in my house, maybe 7 foot. So quite possibly, but I love the idea. I know I am going to be doing it for clients going forward, but it's not for everybody.
How would you furnish around that then? I mean, you'd have to have your furniture in contrast to it.
You would definitely would. It would be different tones, but I suppose I think if somebody was thinking of colour capping or colour drenching, you might already be using the furniture that you have, so you'd be taking that into consideration when you be picking your colour palette, unless you were going out and starting from fresh. So if somebody was asking me to do that and they had very nice furniture or furniture that was very comfortable for them, because we often talk about the comfort of especially living room furniture and bedroom furniture, and if they were taking that forward, they might be recovering, they might not, we'd work around that. So as an interior designer, for me, going into houses, it's very easy for me to work any design into existing furniture or maybe flooring that people have. But while I was sitting outside and I was listening, I was waiting. Now it's going away from this slightly, but what did I take from 2025 last year as an interior designer, as going in to people's houses, giving them answering their questions, giving them ideas? As an interior designer, what stood out for me most was I go into somebody's house and they might want a bathroom revamped, a kitchen revamped, just doing up one room, doing up a whole house, building an extension, whatever the work was for me. But they'd say to me, I want. Now, I know it sounds like a child looking for some sweets, but so I'd never ask somebody when I'd walk in on first consultation what their budget would be. Probably wouldn't come up. So somebody might say to me, 20 grand to spend, I've 5 grand to spend, I've 20 grand to spend, I've 80 grand to spend, I've 200 grand to spend on an extension. And then they tell me, I'd say, and what are you hoping? First of all, what does the job look like? What are you hoping to get? And then the budget might come up if it was a bigger spend. And they say, I want. And as they're saying I want, I'm adding up. So just say somebody says to me, my budget's 80,000. And I'm saying, what are you hoping to do for that? And I'm clocking it up as I'm going, because I'm pricing work every day, and I'm thinking, this job is 120,000. There's no way, in my head I'm saying that they can get all this work done. So immediately then I'd step in again as an interior designer, as telling people what they can get for their budget and the whole lot. And I'd know we can stretch it so much, but something's going to have to give. So I'd approach them in a different way. I wouldn't tell them that they couldn't have everything that they wanted, but I'd say, well, what we're looking at, if we do this, and maybe if we keep this and don't have to buy that and do that, then we can get all this in on budget and whatever. But I think for me, my takeaway last year was people's expectations were very high for what they were spending, because a lot of people mightn't have done jobs in their houses for quite a while, 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
And things have changed and prices have gone through the roof, of course. And I see on all of those sort of home improvement programs, Karen, the one thing that always happens is they overshoot the budget.
They do, yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, and sometimes that's not from the interior designer or the architect or the engineer or whatever, it's from... for instance, somebody might say to me, I'm spending 15,000 and I'm gutting my bathroom completely and the whole lot and whatever. And like, we might be doing an awful lot of work for that. The bathroom revamp might only be 6,000, but they'll go in and they'll want the fanciest unit. They'll want the fanciest.
So they're
lighting.
driving it up themselves.
So they're driving it up themselves.
Right.
So that is often quite happens, that we can stick to the budget no properly. And of course, that's what I'm there for, is to say, look, well, hey, you know, pulling back,
pulling
back all the time.
Reality
so
to
talking
the thing,
about trends, about trends is one thing, but I think people's expectations sometimes, and in that context, trends aren't always the best thing, because often when you're working with what you have or working with in a budget, trends often come and go.
Yes. What else then?
So warm
2026.
Warm minimalism and minimalism. So what's that?
What does that mean?
That means that warm minimalism and minimalism blends clean, calm designs with meaningful pieces that you already have. So coming away from that really stark painting your walls all white, having white tiles, maybe having a very pale kitchen and everything is very pale and very minimal.
So
and
a little more
very
personality?
A little bit more personality. Again, I would be saying using what you have maybe in the house already. If you are buying some new items, tactile materials, some personal objects, we always talk about that, some art, some pieces of furniture that you love, maybe some art. Maybe for me it's pieces, I've elephants that people gave me, 3 elephants that I got a present of probably 3 years ago. They go everywhere with me, and I have to have them in a position in the house that I can see them, because they bring me joy. It sounds mad, but I love them.
But that's yeah.
So it's warming up your home, because maybe a lot of people that would have built in the last 10 years would have gone for open plan, stark, cold.
Yes.
And
now we're still not talking about going back to the Victorian thing where you're covered in clutter.
Absolutely not. No. And then
some pieces.
Yeah. And what's taken, and I have a mood board with me today, and you'll see that on one of them. Organic curves and sculptured forms. So curves were in last year in furniture, in suites of furniture and so forth, and that's continuing this year. So rounded sofas, curved sofas, arched doorways.
You see the lighting piece as well.
It's curved.
Yes, curved as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. So those soft lines create approachable, harmonious rooms. So you don't have to spend big money on changing your furniture or changing very big items in your home or a room. It can be soft, small lines, like the lighting, like rugs that might be a different shape than your normal rectangular or whatever, and that's really, that's really
I'm
one of
looking at your mood board, and normally I love everything you bring in. What in the name of God, there was pattern drenching.
I knew. I put that on designedly,
because it looks
wicked. Yes, pattern. And actually, as that photograph turned out when I got a print, it was a little bit darker than it should have been.
Right.
But pattern drenching is very big, in vogue. It's one of the top trends for 2026. But as you can see there, it's really patterned wallpaper, patterned cushions, patterned throw, patterned rug, patterned even lampshades and whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's very
cushions.
That's very Victorian looking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but it's in.
But there's different patterns. They're very busy patterns, but they're different.
Like years ago when I was growing up, you go into our own house, somebody else's house, you'd have really patterned wallpaper on the walls. Manny's a wallpaper room up. I wallpapered with my mother, God rest her, and you'd have a very coloured fireplace, normally made of tiles. I don't know if you remember. Pattern carpet.
God, yeah.
And you could have one of the colours on our front hall was orange once, and then we had wallpaper that kind of was orange and brown and green, genuinely in the sitting room. And I can tell that story because the 4 of us, my brother and myself and my 2 sisters, were sitting on a patterned couch with the patterned wallpaper behind us. When pictures people came to the house when we were very young and took pictures. We all have them probably, and we were all wearing pattern jumpers as well.
It's amazing. But this pattern drenching, are you saying that this is?
Yes.
You'd want to be very bold.
It's a thing,
to do
and I
this.
think you would want to be very bold, and it's fine in a small area, and if you can buy the pieces at the right price, well, then you're not spending a fortune. But it's not something that I think you'd spend a lot of money on.
Right, and it's not for everybody.
And it's not for everybody, but it definitely is one of the trends in 2026.
Right, I love this, and again, I'm conscious this is radio, and not everybody can see this. But the hallway there is
is gorgeous, and again, you can see the dark greeny grey colour is there.
Yeah,
you've got a pale floor. You've got a dark back door there as well. It's a boot room. It's absolutely gorgeous. So. Natural materials and textures are really big. So a little bit of imperfection in tiles, in the veining that you can see here and here on the floor. So they have a little bit of sensory appeal. Stone with dramatic veins is massive in the last 2 years, and again this year. Wood panelling, you can see it there on the first picture in the layering with the timber on the walls there. Rattan, linen, handcrafted ceramics, and nice pieces in your house that you love, that are a little bit artistic, that lend warmth and richness to your
and they're
house.
very evident in that one there, for example. Just gorgeous.
Absolutely
pieces,
very. That one is the curved one, and you have the
like
timber, and you
shells
have and the whole lot.
Yeah.
So mixing materials and textures is really important.
Yeah,
Now,
I noticed plants and flowers as well playing a big part.
Last year,
in a lot
the year
of this.
before, the same. This is year 3 that you're bringing in the outside in, and warm and earthy. So comfort forward furniture. So again, we're talking about, if you're buying a suite of furniture, make sure that you love it, that it's comfortable. It could be deep, it's lounge worthy, that you can throw yourself down on your couch. Two-seater for a lot of people is no good. You can't throw yourself down on it. Adaptive pieces of furniture. You might want a sofa that doubles, that you want it deep enough that it doubles as a single bed if somebody comes over to stay. It mightn't necessarily be a sofa bed, but it might need to be a bed. And functional pieces in your house that you have a little bit of comfort, and that they are the right balance for your room. So we know what that means. Important.
And then we're obviously at the beginning of January. Is this the ideal time to start your plan now? Because you often say to us, even if I go to you now and I say to you, I want such a thing done, it's going to be months down the line.
It's going to be it's going to be months down the line. If somebody's looking for a revamp and you have 6, 8, 10 trades involved in that, for instance, if it's a kitchen revamp, you have a kitchen company, you have a tiler, you'll need a builder to screed the floor maybe, you'll need a plumber, you'll need an electrician, you need so many tradespeople, you need a tiler, you need a painter. So they're not going to just all appear. And what has happened for this is year 4, January, the 4th January, that planning is key. You need to get a plan in place, a price in place. That takes weeks. If you're going to do a job, get somebody on board to look after the job. If it was somebody like me, or if you're doing it yourself, it doesn't matter. Get your people on board. Get your prices, get your budget set, get a date in the diary when the job is going to start. Give the people, even if it's just a bathroom revamp and you want that bathroom revamp done in 2 weeks solid, in, out and gone, and put a timeline on it, and be strict with the people that you're going to have doing the job for you, because at the end of the day, and I'll say this very seriously, but people say it very lightly. And when a tradesperson comes into their house and they're really busy, sure, it'll be grand, you'll come to me whenever you get a chance. Listeners, please don't say that. Do not say that to any tradesperson, because you'll be gone and you'll be gone down the list so far.
And the other thing that strikes me as well, with the way costs are spiralling all the time, if I come to you this month, will you be able to give me a proper indication of what it's going to cost me in May or June, if you know what I mean?
And to be honest, if I go into somebody's house and we're talking knocking a wall, or building an extension, or a kitchen revamp, or just doing up all the rooms in the house, but no big building work, maybe painting, changing floors, that kind of thing, on the day I can tell how much it's going to cost. Obviously not to the penny, or whatever, but I can say, well, look, ballpark, this is going to cost you 3,000, this is going to cost you 10,000 or whatever, and you can get it done for that. And if they felt then that when I talk to them and listen to their ideas and gave him my ideas and said, I think this is what would work best, then you could put a plan into place fairly quickly. But you still have to get the prices in and the job on the board.
All right, if people want to talk to you, Karen, if they want to get more advice.
Interior Concepts on Facebook, Instagram, and my website, and it's 086.
You have to think about this.
086 606 9009.
All right, do you want to give that out one more time now?
It's 086 606 9009.
All right, well done, you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed, Karen. A pleasure as always. Karen Prendergast, our interior designer. News and information is coming up.
Tip FM's Tip Today.
With Slattery's Garage, puck on. It's time to change. Test drive the award-winning range of Peugeot hybrids and fully electric vehicles at Slattery's Garage today. See slatterysgarage.ie.